Hey guys, welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking this brand, The Ordinary, and I want to address some of the rumours that are circulating online that Deciem, the parent company of The Ordinary, plans to discontinue some of their serums in order to make way for new product launches. This is something that's kind of been bubbling under for the past couple of months, and lots of you guys have been reaching out to say, Rob, have you got any more information on this? Well, I've done as much digging as possible. I've reached out to The Ordinary, to Deciem, I've scoured the net for all the information, and I want to share with you what I found in today's video. I think alarm bells ring for all of us when we hear the words discontinued or reformulation. A lot of us reach for The Ordinary for some of our holy grail skincare steps, and so whenever we think things might be tampered with, we might get a little bit panicked. Well, I'm here to say there's nothing to worry about, but there are some things that we need to be aware of. So sit back, relax, let's talk all things The Ordinary. Now, before we get into this video, just a quick reminder to do all that YouTubey stuff if you haven't already. If you like me, you like the channel, you like The Ordinary, and the content that we create here on Mad About Skin, don't forget to reach down and give this video a big thumbs up and a like. I'm always so appreciative of each and every one of you that just takes that moment out of your day to like the content we create here on the channel, because it honestly means the world to me. I'd also love to know what your thoughts and feelings are on what we're discussing in today's video, so sound off in the comments section below. I'm going to keep this super short, sweet, and to the point, so let's cut that waffle and just delve straight on in. I kind of did a little bit of a background reading as to where these rumours started. I think it's a couple of leaked emails seemed to appear a couple of months ago that used terms like making way for and things like that led a lot of people to think, okay, Deciem are planning a little bit of a clear out of The Ordinary, maybe getting rid of some of the serums to bring in new product launches. This isn't unique to The Ordinary or Deciem. Honestly, all brands have a clear out at some point in their journey. You know, some of the products that were holy grails at one point, they become obsolete. They like to mix and match, switch things up. So The Ordinary haven't actually mixed up their product range in a whole long time. So I'm really not surprised that they're thinking about maybe removing some of their less well-selling products to make way for some of their newer launches. Now, honestly, I can't say I'm surprised by any of these rumours, because recently Deciem announced the closure of some of their brands, such as the chemistry brand, Hylamide and HIF. These had some cult followers, and people loved a lot of these brands, but they said they just weren't shifting the units to really warrant continuing them as standalone brands. When all this was happening, it did need a lot of people to say, okay, so we're getting rid of some of the brands that maybe don't shift the volume, make the profits that you're looking for. But you have The Ordinary, which has a huge selection of products, many of which don't shift that many units, but you're going to be keeping them. I kind of understood why Deciem were doing this, you know, to focus in on those products and brands that sell well in order to get the stock levels right, stop things being out of stock for such a long period of time, and really work on their supply chain. But at the same time as discontinuing these brands, to keep some of the other Ordinary products which weren't selling that well seemed a little counterintuitive. So again, when this email came out, I think a lot of people put two and two together and thought, yes, this probably is happening. I also reached out to The Ordinary and said, come on guys, is there anything more you can tell me about this? Do you want to add anything to this conversation so I can inform you guys of what's really going on? And they said that they weren't willing to confirm or deny anything that was in that initial email, but that we should always remember that The Ordinary are a constantly evolving suite of skincare solutions, and they have some exciting launches on the horizon. This to me kind of just confirmed things and says, yes, there's a lot of exciting launches happening, but some products might be discontinued in order to make way for them. And that kind of does make sense, because you don't want a baffling array of skincare solutions when you go on a brand's website, and so some of the lower selling products can make way for some of their exciting new launches that, of course, I'm going to be bringing you the first exclusive look on. So in this section of the video, I want to talk which products might be at risk. First of all, let's start out with a positive, and to say a lot of people worried that The Ordinary lactic acid 5% might be being discontinued because you just couldn't find it anywhere. It was out of stock on just about all websites. Well, The Ordinary were happy to confirm that this isn't being discontinued. They've got a few supply chain issues, but that it will be coming back in a couple of months' time. I covered this in a separate video, which I'll leave a link to up there if you want to know more about that. So that made me very happy, because I love The Ordinary lactic acid, and whilst I use the 10%, the 5% is great if you have sensitive skin type. Now, there are a couple of products that I don't think we'll be seeing a whole lot more of in the future. Let's start with the magnesium ascorbic phosphate, one of the vitamin C derivatives that The Ordinary carry. A product which lots of people fangirled about and fell in love with, but has been unavailable, out of stock on their website for the best part of like a year and a half. I think there are some problems with the supply chain getting some of the raw ingredients which make it possible to formulate this, so I don't think it's a case of them just wanting to do away with it. But I don't really see a point at which this product is going to come back in stock, because they have a lot of vitamin C derivatives, do The Ordinary, and it would make sense to streamline this collection, especially if you're going to be introducing new products. A lot of people have already moved on from this. You haven't been able to get it for a year and a half, so you've looked for other solutions, and so I think this would be an obvious one to discontinue, just quietly drop from the website and focus in on some of the other products. In a similar way, they're UV filters, they're sunscreens. Let's talk about these two. So they do two versions. They do an SPF 15 and an SPF 30, both absolutely terrible. Though inexplicably, the SPF 30 that is so thick, so greasy, it irritates the skin, is one of the best sellers from The Ordinary. So this isn't going to be discontinued, but has been out of stock online for quite some time. I suspect that this is actually going to be a reformulation, and you know what? I live for that. A lot of work needs to go into this formulation to make this usable and to give a good user experience. Lots of people still bought the UV mineral filters from The Ordinary because they like the price point, but really just had to persevere through the awful application. Hopefully The Ordinary are going back to the drawing board with this one and will relaunch another sunscreen that maybe just works out a little bit better on the skin. I don't think it's going to be wildly different from the existing one in terms of the mineral filter composition, but hopefully it'll just apply that a little bit better. I think it's the SPF 15 which is at most at risk of being discontinued because again it was always the lower sales one, and to be honest most dermatologists recommend reaching for an SPF 30 as a minimum, so this really doesn't chime with the ethos that The Ordinary like to promote in terms of healthy skin and kind of doing the science and the research that you don't have to. I don't really think there's a whole place for an SPF 15 in this collection, so hopefully they'll discontinue that and just focus all their attention on the reformulation of the SPF 30, which I honestly hope will be a really nice product, because I definitely think there's a gap in the market for drugstore, affordable and mineral sunscreens. Now the next product I probably should have mentioned alongside the magnesium ascorbic phosphate that I just spoke about, because it's another vitamin C, but this time in its pure form ascorbic acid. The Ordinary have two different super high strength ascorbic acid products. They have a 30% in silicone and they have a 23% in hyaluronic acid. I think one of these, it would be logical for one of these to be discontinued if you're looking to streamline the collection. I think a lot of people reach for the one in silicone more than the one in hyaluronic acid. It seems to be the better seller of the two, but honestly I don't like either of these. I think they're way too strong for most people's skin to handle. The texture's pretty grim, particularly on the silicone one, which can also actually break you out. I got some bad breakouts with this particular product, so it's probably not the best for acne prone skin. I think one of these probably will go in terms of a discontinuation because they're both serving the same market in terms of that super high potency ascorbic acid, and I don't really see the need for these two different versions of a similar active ingredient in the skincare collection from The Ordinary. I'm not sure which one it would be. If I had to pick, I'd probably get rid of the one in silicone. Too high strength, it really didn't layer well in a skincare routine, and I think 23% ascorbic acid in terms of the hyaluronic acid one is certainly up there in strength, but you know what, it's not unique on the market, it's just very high potency. I think the 30% just pushes it a little bit too far. Finally, we're going to come on to The Ordinary retinols. The Ordinary retinols are so confusing. They have so many different versions of vitamin A derivatives in different formulations, in different strengths. It's all a little bit mind-blowing and boggling. And so, I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the retinols that was actually discontinued if they were looking to streamline everything down. The gram-active retinols, particularly the emulsions, seem to sell the best, and so I don't think they'll be touched. But the retinol in squalane is where I think they could do a little bit of streamlining to just simplify everything down. For me, I would personally get rid of the 0.2%. You know, it's a super low strength retinol. You can get this just about anywhere else. And actually, in terms of the differences between the 0.2% and the 0.5% that The Ordinary do, there's a whole lot of difference in terms of the redness, peeling and sensitivity you're going to get. So I know a lot of people that actually just reach for the 0.5 anyway. I think as humans, we're all engineered to go to the highest strength possible for those quick wins. And so it's unsurprising that the 0.2% strength is the lowest seller of all of The Ordinary retinols. And so this is probably going to be the one that gets culled. Personally, I'd get rid of all of the retinols in squalane and just keep the gram-active retinoid collection, which is innovative, something new on the market, I think just applies so much better to the skin. Now, all is not lost because whilst we might be talking about discontinuing some products, we also have some exciting launches down the line. I don't know anything that you guys don't, but I think one of the worst kept secrets in skincare is that The Ordinary are going to be relaunching their alpha lipoic acid at some point this year. I love this product. It has some exfoliation qualities to it. It also is a powerful antioxidant. It's one of my first products from The Ordinary I reached for. It was discontinued about probably 4 or 5 years ago, and it hasn't been seen since. They kept saying they were reformulating and working on it, and we've seen a lot of emails and leaked things that this is going to be coming back this year. I don't know anything more than you guys do or what you could read online, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this make a reappearance, and honestly, I'm living for that. I also fully expect for some of the discontinued Hylamide skincare products to make their way in new packaging into The Ordinary collection. I'm talking about the Sub-Q Mist, the Sub-Q Serum in particular. These were holy grails for a lot of people and worked really really, really well. In fact, Deciem fangirled about these peptides above all of the others in the entire Deciem collection. And so I think it would be daft for them just to drop it because they wanted to close the Hylamide brand. I think both sub-Q products will come back repackaged under the Ordinary. The Ordinary doesn't have a mist, so the sub-Q mist would slot well into their collection. And they've got a lot of peptides, so the sub-Q would obviously make wonderful bedfellows to the rest of the peptide collection, like the buffet and the buffet with copper peptides. I would love to know your thoughts, feelings, and predictions on anything mentioned in today's video, but I wanted to film this to say, don't despair, don't panic. There's not going to be a whole suite of discontinued products when it comes to the Ordinary. I think they'll probably take a very, a meaningful look at which products are selling well and which maybe they could just lose quietly in the background to, focus again on the best-selling products and some of their new launches. I don't think personally anyone's going to miss one or two of their retinols and vitamin C's kind of going from market, particularly the ones that have already been out of stock for such a long period of time, and it would be great if they reformulated their sunscreens. I would live for that. So I'll keep you guys updated on any more information I have. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.